So a few months ago, I asked myself a question, not a strategic question, not a business question, just an honest, curious question. Could I actually charge people to help them become a data analyst? Like, I had done it myself, went from software engineering to data analytics in roughly around 90 days. So I was able to figure out what actually mattered, cut through the noise, and really understand what gets you hired fast. And honestly, people just kept asking me, how did you do it? So then I thought, what if I just put something together and see if people would actually pay for it? And guess what? They did. So I wasn't trying to necessarily build a business or think of things in terms of funnels and marketing jargon and all of these types of things. I was just curious, and honestly, that's what led me to my first high ticket client. But there's a book that sits right in the middle of this story, and it's the reason the whole thing worked. All right, so if you're new, my name is Zazo. I'm a senior data analyst, and I transitioned into data analytics about 4 years ago from software engineering. So now let me give you a little backstory. I was working in software engineering for 4 years, and then at some point I just felt really disconnected from the business side of the equation. So what did I do? I decided to transition into data analytics. With this transition, I kind of learned all the different things that really make you valuable as a data analyst and really made it pretty quickly into data analytics within approximately 90 days. So I felt like I'm qualified to tell you how to get hired in data analytics and how to do it and career swap without getting confused and bogged down by all the noise and all the jargon that's out there. So what I started doing, I started posting things on LinkedIn about my transition and what made it easier than a lot of people trying to get into data analytics. And honestly, the feedback was crazy. I was always getting DMs, emails, and all types of things, people asking me, how did you do it? And what are some tips and ways that I can do the same thing? Of course, I'm just answering these questions really quick and really simple, but what I realized is the more serious ones really wanted to sit down with me and take a moment of my time in order to kind of pick apart my brain in a sense and really understand how I did it so quickly and why they were struggling. So that's when I started wondering, is there something here? Can I charge these really serious people that really want to get into data analytics? So if you know Alex Hormozi, I watch his videos kind of constantly, even way before this, and he literally got me with something that he talks about in this book. The only reason why I got this book and all the other ones is because he made an offer that it would have been stupid to say no to. He basically was giving away all 3 of these books with just the price of shipping, and I couldn't say no. So I went and I ordered the books, and it will already paid for itself like 20x. With a lot of his content, obviously it's business, but I never really understood how that could transfer over into what I was doing or any type of data analytics or technical type of thing. And I realized I didn't want to be salesy, but in this book and just what Alex talks about is if you genuinely believe you have the answers to these problems and these questions these people have, then you're merely just solving their problem with your solution. So one of the concepts I want to talk about in this video is the value equation. If you haven't heard of it, I'm gonna go over it real quickly, and this helped me understand how to build a offer that people feel stupid saying no to. So this is basically the main point of this video and also this specific book, and it's the value equation. What is the value equation? Let me break it down for you. Basically, he speaks about an offer in terms of a value equation where the 2 things on top are the dream outcome that your client or your specific like avatar wants and the perceived likelihood that that outcome will come true. And then on the bottom, you have how long does it take and how much work does it take for that client or avatar to get this dream outcome. Now that may seem sort of simple when you hear it, but the key thing is here is the more you can increase the top of the equation and decrease the bottom of the equation, the better your offer gets. So an example of this is my offer. So my offer is the dream outcome is to become a job ready data analyst. Obviously, beyond that, it's to actually get a job. I can't guarantee that because of the market. That's just not in my hands. However, I can crank it up as much as I can. So that would be the dream outcome for my specific offer. The perceived likelihood that it will get done is high because the offer is job ready analyst in 60 days, and the guarantee is that you get at least one interview throughout this period. If not, we work together with no additional charge until you do. So the perceived likelihood that this will get done increases a bunch, because if they don't get an interview, we continue to work together until they do. So now the time delay is 60 days, even quicker than my transition of 90 days. And the effort and sacrifice on their part, I try to lower that by doing the resume and giving them the LinkedIn stuff that they should have on their account. So with this, I'm trying to lower the bottom part of the equation as much as I can and the top the most that I can. Obviously, there's limitations when you're not in full control, but something like a service-based business, obviously you're a little bit more in control and you can really crank up the top and really lower the bottom if you are just that good and you continue to iterate over your offer. One more thing that I realized is he really talks about selling the outcome or the results. So in my offer, obviously I'm selling the job ready data analyst, like that is the result, instead of selling something or talking about something in terms of learn SQL. That doesn't have a dream outcome. That is literally just learning a skill, if you will, but that is not speaking to that person's dream outcome. So now I'm going to give you the story about how I closed this client. The first thing was, like I said, I was getting a lot of DMs and getting a lot of messages about just picking my brain. And so I came across this serious person that really wanted to become a job ready data analyst that was switching careers from another field. So we scheduled a call, and because my offer was so good, it was very easy to close. Honestly, she was just asking me, how do I pay? So this is how the call went. I literally just got on the line, and I'm no pro at this by any means. I would say it's quite the opposite, but I got on the call. I kind of try to use a lot of the things in this book, and I really do believe that I have the answers for a lot of these questions and how to get hired in this industry. And I literally just told my story, was able to understand where she was at, and literally just said, here you go. Here's the payment link for you to pay. And she did. I'll leave a screenshot somewhere. I literally just gave her the blueprint, what we'd work on, what I was going to help them avoid, what was actually realistic. The key thing he talks about in here is when you state the cost or the investment, literally pause and let them answer. And she did. She said, where do I pay? And so after that call, it was pretty easy. I just went, sent her the link, she paid, and we got started that next week after. It was as simple as that. Now, am I saying that this is simple all around? No, because I did have a bunch of different failures while trying to iterate over this offer until I got to something that really worked. So if you're interested in hearing about that story, leave me a comment below and I'll make that video as well. If you're interested in transferring into data analytics, leave me a comment and let me know what other videos you want to see. Love, peace, and chicken grease.